May 14th, 2021. It is currently 4:28 p.m. and my camera is still choppy and I don't know why. I don't know how to fix that. This morning I had my second ketamine infusion after the first one being February 4th of this year. I found out today, which they probably told me, I'm sure they told me the first time I got it, but I forgot, that you're supposed to get, like when you start the infusions, you're supposed to get 6 of them. Like once every few weeks at first. So that would explain why I was beginning to spiral. It was intense today, but I knew what to expect, so it wasn't so bad. I didn't get to a scary place. There was times where I felt disconnected, but I kept speaking. I feel better now, because as soon as they stop the infusion, you start to, like, quote-unquote, sober up. There was times during the infusion today that I felt like everything was going to be okay. That everything was going to work out. I'm just upset right now because, yeah, I ate something not so good, and I think that's affecting us, or affecting the sugar level, and that might be what it is, because my blood sugar is like super wonky. It's like my levels are super sensitive. I can go days without eating and my blood sugar is fine, but if I eat one wrong thing that has just a little bit too much sugar, just a little bit, I don't mean like 30 grams of sugar, I mean like 10, then my blood sugar spikes, and then it tanks. It makes me feel like I'm dying. Not that I'm planning on going days without eating right now, because the medication I'm on, I have to take with food. So even if I do want to fast, I at least have to eat once a day to make sure that that doesn't make us sick, at least until we're done with it. Because it's not a permanent medication, but it is, you do take it for a while. I don't know how long exactly. The doctor failed to mention that. But I know he did say that it's going to take months to work. He assures me it will work, but it will take months. How many months? He didn't say exactly. And I don't know if you take it for months or a couple of years. I hope not. Months we can do, but it doesn't make us feel good. But we want our skin to feel better, even though it feels worse right now. It's more red right now. It's starting to peel. Like my nose is peeling really bad. Not really bad. It's been worse, but usually due to having a cold or a flu or something. But this is just peeling because my skin is all dried out. My lips are peeling, even though I wear chapstick and drink water. My hands seem to be getting worse. If I didn't mention this before, I have a skin condition on my hand, like dermatitis or eczema or whatever. But I've had it my entire life, where my hands crack and bleed all the time. And people always want to blame it on obsessive hand washing, But I had this when I was a little kid, and my mom used to put Vaseline on my hands and feet. I grew out of the feet thing, so that's cool. When I was still a kid, so that was good. And my feet didn't crack and bleed anymore, just my hands. And it got worse with age, especially when I hit, like when I started to enter my 30s. My hands started to get really bad to the point where they didn't heal during the summer. They would usually heal during the summer and then get bad in the winter. But now they're bad all year round, and it's been that way for years now. So now I'm getting treatment for it, which doesn't work. And the treatment they're using for my face is making my hands worse. But anyways, going back to the blaming it on obsessive hand washing, since I got this when I was a kid, that's wrong. Gross thing, but I didn't start regularly washing my hands until I was 15. If I didn't get anything out of my hands, I didn't wash my hands. And that included going to the bathroom. Because I didn't know. I honestly didn't know better. I thought if you didn't get anything physically on your hands, then they weren't dirty. But my sister, my younger sister, explained to me once when I was like 15 that I have to wash my hands after I go to the bathroom, no matter if I get stuff on them or not. Because she witnessed that. Like, because this was a time where we didn't care. Like, we would go to the bathroom in front of each other and stuff. And she was in the bathroom while I was going to the bathroom. And then I wiped, I was done. And she's like, are you going to wash your hands? I was like, I didn't get anything out of my hands. She goes, you still have to wash your hands. That's gross. There's still bacteria there. She explained this to me. I didn't know. I honestly didn't. And then that's when I started washing my hands regularly. Yeah, if I didn't shower regularly, my hands would have been absolutely fucking disgusting. Because I remember being 13-ish and sleeping over a friend's house of mine for like 2 or 3 days, and my nails started to look disgusting because I didn't shower at her house and I wasn't washing my hands. So my nails looked fucking gross, and I didn't understand why. Like, why are my hands so dirty? Why my nails look so disgusting? Yeah, I was a gross kid. But yeah, I'm never, I don't know why people think I'm an obsessive hand washer. Because I have OCD, maybe. But it's like I wash my hands after I go to the bathroom every time. I wash my hands when I touch something disgusting. I wash my hands after I come in from outside. I live in an apartment building. A lot of people touch those doors. Yes, I'm gonna wash my fucking hands. I don't just get up from doing something to wash my hands or sit at the sink and wash my hands again and again and again. I've never done that. But it's like, if you are diagnosed with something like a mental illness, then they always look at that first. And it sucks. Because it's like weird that you can be mentally ill and have physical problems as well. It's almost like one doesn't cancel the other out. Like, could you imagine that if you were mentally ill, but you're physically superpowered? Like, you can't get sick, you can't get injured. That would be awesome. But it doesn't work that way, and I don't know why doctors don't know that, since they're doctors. And they should understand that, right? Mentally ill people aren't superhuman. Whatever. They're in their own little world, I guess. Again, a different reality. They live in a different reality. It's all back to the different perspective and different realities. Would you think a doctor would be tethered to this reality, like as a society as we know it? I don't understand their deal. But anyways, I'm hoping to get motivation back. I keep having sparks of inspiration and all that. I'm still depressed. I don't know if I'm tired. I mean, I passed out for a little while, but I also found out that this might be the last infusion that I can get. Because I can't afford it. And if this was the thing that was saving us, we won't be able to move forward, and we will move backwards again. And the planning will begin again. Because we were getting to that point again. Not the planning stages, but the visuals, the sensations of removing the eye. I don't feel the urge to remove my eye right now, but I know it'll come back. And it's too much. And if it does come back and I can't get the help that I need, I'm gonna go through with it. Because I think we can now. Again, I'm not planning anything. I'm just saying, if it returns and I can't get ketamine for us, then the only way to stop the urge of removing the eye is to actually remove the eye. And I don't want to. I mean, yes, I want the end result, but it's a scary thing because I'm not even worried about the pain. At first, it was about the pain, about finding eye-numbing drops that I could get illegally because you need a doctor's license to acquire such eye drops, which I don't have. Because you can overdose on them because it's lidocaine. Lidocaine? Lidocaine. Novocaine? Something. But you can overdose on it, which is such a weird thing. I don't know. To me, it's because it's not something taken orally, and it's not something injected to the vein. How can you overdose? I mean, I know people overdose on stuff you inhale as well, but this is just like either put on the skin or injected into an area where you're going to have something done, or drops in the eye. But you can overdose on it. It's strange. Also, if you're doing the injection thing, you can hit something wrong. So I understand why you would need a license to have the injectable stuff. But for the eye drops, it's so weird that you could overdose from putting drops in your eye. I don't know what an overdose of that shit does, but it's probably not good. But yeah, anyways, it started off being worried about the pain. And then when we realized we couldn't get the eye drops, we were going to do it anyways, but differently, less severe. Because before, well, actually more severe. Because before the plan was to numb the eye, take a scalpel, and cut off the lens, and then the eye will die. But without the numbing drops, there's no way. There's no way you get your eye to be still or anything. Even if you didn't have Tourette's. Then I had another plan, which I'm not going to go into detail about. But then, after the ketamine infusion started to wear off, before I understood it was wearing off, I started to realize the way LSD affects pain. Yes, certain types of pain you still feel, but it doesn't bother you. Like you're aware of it, but it's easier to push aside or push to the back of your mind. And it's easy to get it's easy to get distracted from it. So we're thinking, Donatello and he was the one that brought it up, of course, that if we were going to do anything to the eye, the best time to do it would be while on LSD. Which I guess. It's a scary place to be. To obsess over these things and research these things. Like eye surgeries and like how do people lose eyes? And then it, like, you know, trying to find where the artery is so when we go in, guns a-blazing, we don't fucking kill ourselves. Because when we started this, I mean, I guess that I did start it. Because I started it and then Donatello appeared. Yay, OCD. I'm sorry. But that's really fucked up, right? Like, I was just trying to get help. And I tried to plead with doctors. There's something wrong. And they're basically like, fuck you. But I came so close to stabbing myself in the eye. Because, yeah, that's what the plan turned into. It was like, instead of carefully removing the lens and letting the eye die, slowly and painfully, the plan turned to taking a scalpel to it to just stab it. And then that's when we were told that, yeah, you have an artery there and you'll bleed to death. So you might not want to do that. I was unaware. Actually, it was my ex that brought that to my attention. After basically making me feel really fucking insane. And I'm not insane. I was suffering from psychosis brought on by OCD. And it was made worse through physical symptoms because I had pressure in my head constantly from sinus stuff that took 2 surgeries to fix. And they were telling me that there's no reason for pressure there. But then this last surgery, when they did a scan, they're like, oh yeah, you have pockets of infection all over in your sinuses. That could cause the pressure. Yeah. So I have chronic sinusitis. Hopefully this surgery fixed that. Because I haven't had the constant pressure. It's like, yeah, I still get pressure, but it's usually because of allergies or whatever. It just sucks. Being poor and needing help. So it's like the help that you do get, you're like, this is only temporary. Which puts a real downer on everything. I followed through with my promise to Dante. Before all this. Before the experimenting. Before the ketamine. I promised Dante that before ending this life. But I can't go on like this. I hope this feeling goes away. Because we were feeling so good. May 14th, 2021 is currently 6:07 p.m. I just thought of something I have to remember. I have to absolutely remember this. Last time I got the ketamine infusion, yes, I felt really good that day. But I don't know how it affected me during the day, so to speak, because I had it so late in the day that I ended up passing out soon after. Yeah, like a couple hours after I got home, so I don't really know how it affected me. But the important part is to remember that it took like a few days at least, or about a few days, around a few days, 2-3 days, something. I don't know exactly, because I should have been reporting on this, but I didn't think to. But it took a few days to see any real improvement. Like, it took a few days for all of a sudden for me to start cleaning out of nowhere and organizing and putting stuff where it belongs, without stressing about it. So I shouldn't get discouraged because I feel like garbage right now. It's not an instant thing. For some people it is, but for others it isn't. So I need to give it a few days before I give up on this route. Not that I was planning on giving up right away anyways, but I was just feeling very discouraged. But I did notice something, that even though I'm not like fucked up or high or anything, I can go outside for a cigarette and be fine. Which again, smoking, yes, not good, but just being able to go outside without the need to be high is nice. I hate needing to be high. I hate being high. I hate having a cloudy head. It doesn't help anything. It makes us lazy and slows us down and heeds our progress. It makes us feel good temporarily, but doesn't lead to anything. It relieves pain and it helps with sleep. I should be using it for that and that only. Because the way I've been burning through it, it's literally is not ideal. Not only like fucking up our life part, but you know, cost wise, it's not sustainable. Also, the excessive amount of LSD, which comes from obsession, should die down. Because when I got the first ketamine infusion, I wasn't like taking massive amounts of LSD. I was taking little teeny doses, like 50 micrograms, before the ketamine infusion. Not like the day before, like the month before or something. I took a couple doses, and that was my first experience with LSD. And then after the ketamine infusion, I started back up using it again, but it was like I used like 100, 200 at a time, and that was it. And it was fine, and I didn't feel the need to use it right away the next day, which is something I've been struggling with. It's like I just want it in my system all the time, and I know that's not how LSD works, which is unfortunate, because it helps so much with like sensory processing and making me feel grounded, which seems really strange. I'm sure that LSD can make someone feel grounded, but it just makes things more real for me. The only thing I don't like is how it seems to silence everyone, including me. But we still communicate, but like as a whole, as one being, but not quite. Like some sort of, I don't know, like we're trapped together in something, but yet we can't communicate with each other. We can only communicate as one. But there's still separation. It's not pleasant, but there's ways to combat that with like weed. Helps with that. DMT, I think, helps with that. I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been over a couple weeks. at least. I don't remember the last time I did DMT. But yeah, I need to play around with that again, even though it is fucking terrifying. LSD doesn't shake me, man, but DMT scares the fuck out of me. Just because it's still unknown, even though I've done a bunch of it. It was like, I've only done it a few times, but it was just like I just did a bunch of it during those times. So I don't know what happens when you truly break through. Hopefully we can see. I just need them back.